Hey guys, welcome back to Flicks Recap. I'm Luke, and today we're covering the 2015 romantic comedy drama, The Escort. The movie is about a woman who finds love amidst all the unfaithful husbands she's screwing over for money. Before we start, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to Flicks Recap if you dig the breakdown. And as a quick reminder, this video contains spoilers, so you have been warned. The movie starts with our main lead, Natalie, entering a hotel room. Natalie is an escort, and she makes money by canoodling with men. On the other side of town, there's Mitch. Mitch is on a double date with his friend, JP. Bored out of his mind, Mitch excuses himself to the bathroom where he jerks off to an explicit video. Mitch gets caught in the act by JP but doesn't care, and ditching JP when he gets a match on an app for canoodling. One night, while at a bar in a posh hotel, Mitch meets Natalie. Natalie goes by the name of Victoria. Mitch mistakes Natalie for one of the girls he got matched with on the app. Natalie opens up about herself and reveals that she's a Stanford grad trying to make a living in LA. Only halfway through, Natalie realizes that Mitch is hoping for something else. Natalie informs Mitch of her rates as an escort, and then she leaves the bar. The next day, Mitch gets fired. Despite a shock for his career, Mitch maintains a spicy personal life with his canoodling shenanigans. In hopes to knock off unemployment, Mitch decides to apply for a job with a magazine. Although the editor is quite skeptical, she still promises to hire him if he puts out an interesting article. Mitch is happy to at least have a chance. Later that night, Mitch goes to the same bar he met Natalie in hopes of bumping into her again. Mitch asks around for a Victoria, but the bartender gets suspicious of him, and so Mitch leaves. On his way out, Mitch meets Natalie. Mitch asks Natalie to share her story with him so he can write it for his article for the magazine. Natalie outrightly rejects his request, but still takes his card and leaves the bar for her appointment with a client. Mitch is dejected, and so he too makes his way to his apartment. Although things usually go smooth with her appointments with clients, that night Natalie encounters a violent client and almost escapes a sexual assault. Natalie is shaken by her experience and decides to give Mitch a call. The next day, Natalie meets up with Mitch. The two of them drive up to one of Natalie's appointments. Turns out it's not her usual appointment. Natalie offers maths tuition to little kids. Mitch is surprised and amused to see Natalie tutor the little kid named Jared. It's also here that Mitch learns Natalie's real name. After the maths tuition, Natalie takes Mitch to her apartment that she shares with her friend, Dana. Dana has her boyfriend, Nick, over, and the two of them welcome Mitch to their place and offer him food, but Mitch turns it down politely and follows Natalie to her room. While Natalie is going through some work on her laptop, Mitch asks Natalie questions about her life. Natalie reveals that she's raised by a single mother who is a high school teacher, and she never met her dad. Natalie also tells Mitch that she chose to be an escort to make money to pay off her student loan. Later that night, Mitch accompanies Natalie to the hotel for her appointment with a client. Natalie uses Mitch as her security so she can avoid another violent client. However, Natalie does not tell Mitch about this. After her work is done, Natalie leaves Mitch at the spot where they met in the morning. The next day, Mitch and Natalie go for a pedicure together, and they move back to Natalie's loft for some downtime. Later in the night, Mitch goes with Natalie again to the hotel so she can get some more clients. This time around, Natalie gets surrounded by weird guys, and she calls out Mitch for help. Although Mitch is a little confused, he plays along as Natalie's bodyguard, and it works. After Natalie's work is done, Mitch and Natalie have an argument over Natalie's little trick. Natalie makes Mitch understand that the two of them are using each other. Mitch gets his article, and Natalie gets security. The reality of the situation hurts Mitch, so he simply decides to leave. This time, though, Natalie decides to follow him. Mitch goes to a small bar and keeps waiting until a woman walks up to him. After a little talk, the woman takes Mitch to the ladies' washroom and the two of them canoodle. Natalie follows Mitch to the bathroom and is surprised at the revelation. Once Mitch is done, he's greeted by Natalie, who's been waiting for him in the hallway. Okay guys, quick pause to remind you to comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. On with the recap. Mitch and Natalie sit down at a table to talk about their situation. Natalie tells Mitch that she just needed to be sure he was not a druggie who would ditch last minute. Mitch assures Natalie that he would not ditch her because she is his ticket to a new job. Mitch asks Natalie to accompany him to his family brunch on Sunday. Mitch wants to bring home a girlfriend so he can show it to his dad, Charles, and his sister, Emily. that he has his life together even if it's far from it. After setting some strict ground rules, Natalie agrees. Mitch and Natalie meet up for the Sunday brunch. Natalie lends Mitch her car so he can drive them to his dad's house. The brunch goes fairly well. Charles and Emily are charmed by Natalie, and they're even more so happy to see Mitch making it through life on his own. Mitch sees an opportunity and asks Charles for some money, but this time his dad turns him down. After the family brunch, Mitch and Natalie drop off Emily to meet up with her friends. Natalie suggests getting some drinks while they wait for Emily, and Mitch happily obliges. While waiting for Emily, Mitch asks Natalie to get an actual job so she can leave the escort business. Natalie tells Mitch that she cannot get a job because of a stupid mistake in college when she made a stupid presentation of all the guys she had slept with throughout her life and sent it to her girlfriends as a joke, but one of the friends forwarded to her other friend, and soon it spread like wildfire, to an extent that Piers Morgan made a reference to it on his talk on CNN. Mitch finally understands Natalie and her reasons to be an escort, but he knows better to not offer his sympathies. Mitch and Natalie go back to pick Emily. Emily comes out of a friend's house with tears running down her face. Emily tells them that her friends have been making fun of her in the evening. Natalie is furious, and she decides to teach the girls a lesson. As furious as Natalie is, she just spits out her anger on the wrong girl at the wrong house. Mitch calls her in time. Natalie runs back to the car, and they quickly drive away. Back at Charles' place, Mitch, Emily, and Natalie watch a movie together until Emily falls asleep, and she's put to bed. Natalie decides to stay the night at Charles' place. That night, Natalie and Mitch sleep together. The next day, Natalie drops Mitch off at his apartment and also hands him an envelope of cash. Although Mitch is hesitant, Natalie is insistent that he takes it, and so he takes it. Mitch asks Natalie about her plans for the day, and Natalie tells him that she's going to the clinic for a checkup. Mitch wishes her luck, and then Natalie drives away. Later in the day, while Natalie awaits her turn at the clinic, Mitch is making out with another girl at his place. Mitch stops midway and decides to leave. Mitch joins Natalie at the clinic. Natalie's surprised to see Mitch there, but she's happy to know that Mitch remembered how much she hated to be alone at the clinic. A couple days later, Mitch and Natalie meet up at the hotel for their usual shift. Mitch acts cold towards Natalie, and so she does not call him when she gets forced into kissing by a guy. Mitch sees it and steps in. When the guy does not back off, Mitch starts beating the guy. Natalie tries stopping Mitch just in time before he pulps down the guy. Mitch stops and then abruptly leaves. Later that night, Natalie barges into Mitch's apartment and the two of them have a heated argument. When things get a little too personal, Natalie leaves. Over the next few days, Natalie goes back to being an escort. Mitch also tries to write down his breakthrough article, but he's getting nowhere. Mitch decides to go to the editor and tell her that he will be needing more time to come up with another topic. The editor does not give him an extension on the deadline, but she tells Mitch to go back to what inspired him in the first place for the previous topic. And so Mitch visits Natalie when she's with a client. Mitch confesses to Natalie that he likes her. Natalie is taken back, but she tells Mitch that she needs to get back to work, and so she asks Mitch to leave. Mitch has no choice, and so he does. In the next few days, Mitch gets his act together and pens down his article. The article gets published, and Mitch gets the job. Meanwhile, Natalie applies for an MBA program and she gets accepted. On one Sunday, Mitch decides to give his family a visit. Charles is happy to see Mitch and even more delighted to see that he's making progress in life with his article getting published. When the family's having lunch, the doorbell rings. Mitch opens the door and it's Natalie. Natalie tells Mitch that she quit being an escort, got admission in MBA, and will give her tutoring business a shot. Natalie confesses that she likes Mitch too. Without letting go of the chance, Mitch kisses Natalie. Let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. And of course, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next recap. Until next time.